Hi, Abraham. Thank you. I have a question about something that you addressed yesterday, the wave. And I had a misconception for the earlier part of my life that my goal as a soul was to work as hard and as fast as I could to learn lessons. So I put myself through a lot of struggle.
A lot of people do that because there are so many people who surround you who, in the short term, believe that they benefit by your compliance with their goals.
Well, I thought
words,
that was...
people will say to you, and really mean it, don't you dare be selfish and follow your bliss. Do what I need you to do so that I can feel better. So it's a pretty easy cycle to get caught up in.
And I thought that suffering was the quickest way to evolve as a soul. So I was very depressed, and I was an addict, and I actually just wanted to check out.
Before you go further, we want to stay there and savor the importance of what you just said a little bit, because we want you to just feel for a moment how you now understand, you know so completely how screwy that concept was. How completely, let's see if we can find the very best word for that. How completely idiotic.
Insane.
It is to believe that the good that you're reaching for comes through the path of suffering.
Right. So,
and anyone or any culture or any group consciousness that believes that has to be so removed from their vortex in order to even come to such a crazy conclusion. Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely. So
We're glad.
And I have lots of practice. So the wave you were talking about, my visual when you were talking about that was, now I know what it's like every once in a great while when I'm in the vortex of being on top of the wave, like body surfing and seeing everything clearly, and that flow of being carried. But what it was like then was being caught in that riptide and just constantly being turned in those negative thoughts and being caught and smashed.
Good analogy. It's the same analogy that we offer, that when you're in the car going 100 miles an hour, it can be a really high-flying ride unless you hit a tree. And if there are a bunch of trees in your road, then the tendency is to want to slow way down so that it's not so painful when you hit the tree. But the problem with that is you don't have a fun ride. So the answer to both brilliant analogies is releasing resistance is what we're talking about. Releasing resistance so that you can flow freely.
So the first way I tried to release resistance was to get it pounded out of me by the turmoil. And now I'm releasing resistance by the fun of the ride.
All right, so now for the rest of this conversation, we'd like to hear your new way, and we would like you to omit the old way. Because every time you tell the story, it keeps a residual of it active within you. Even though you believe you've moved on, you still keep it active every time you speak it, every time you repeat it, every time you explain it.
Thank you. So my new way is to think that what you said yesterday was that every time you're in that struggle, that you're depositing something equally strongly into the vortex.
Equivalent, and on the other side of the wave. That's
so
the most
then I think
important
that there
thing.
must be so much on the top of the wave that I haven't experienced, like so much in that vortex that I've...
There's a nugget we want to give you, and that is that acknowledgement, and we know you acknowledge it completely, we felt it fully from you, about how much you've put into your vortex of creation, now gives you reason to love every miserable moment for what it caused you to deposit here. And that will cause you in a powerful way, in one sort of fell swoop, to release the resistance of that and receive the benefit of it.
What a miracle.
Bless it all. Bless it all. Thank you, struggle. Thank you, trouble. Thank you, that side of the natural wave, for this side. Good.
Yes.
Good. Really good.
Thank you.
So we think that now you have a whole new way of telling that story.
I do.
So want to give it to us, or you want us to give it to you?
I'll try it out first. The power of the top of the wave is such a strong perspective. The contrast of it, the ride of it is so smooth and beautiful. And I have that perspective of seeing it because I also know what's underneath it. I know the power of what's underneath it, but I now can surf on the power of what's on top of it, and I can really enjoy the ride.
And now say the most important part of all.
The most important thing is that I feel good and that I enjoy the ride.
And it was so worth it.
And it was so completely worth it. Every particle of it. Thank you.